questions, and we got a ton of the cast with us as well, so let's bring them out. Oscar, we have Oscar Nunez, everybody! Fit on the table.
What's up? How you guys doing?
So how often does this happen for you guys? How often have you been getting together and doing these things? It must be nice to see each other again. Does it happen?
This year?
It's sporadic, yeah. It's just been this like a little bit on and off this year, so
I think Kate was the first one.
Yes.
You started?
I started.
Kate was my first.
It's very, what? I thought Mary Beth was. No, that's a different case. Yeah, it's just been in this past year that we've been sporadically doing it. So you guys are lucky enough to win the lottery. Here we are.
Yeah, I mean, honestly. Yeah, what are we thinking about that? What are we thinking about the idea of I know there's been talk about a potential comeback for the show. Is this something that you've thought about? Would you do it should the opportunity arise?
Well, we don't think it's going to happen, but stranger things have happened. Deadwood just did a movie.
Right.
Fantastic.
You saw it, right, Creed?
Fantastic.
I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it yet. Don't tell me what happens.
I think
I would totally.
There's gunplay. Spoiler alert. There's gunplay.
And what if the Office was a Western? I'm just kidding. That's ridiculous.
What?
I don't know. Yes. I'm actually pro reboot, but I understand keeping like the sacredness of what happened and like.
And it was sacred.
And what if we ruin it?
It was
you know what I mean?
ground.
It was like I just I don't know. I see both sides of the coin.
I do too. I don't think it.
Yeah, but I don't know.
I think the fans want it more than we do because we were like in it.
Yeah, well that's true. Yeah. It's 9 years and here we are. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's very popular right now. So people are like it's #1 on Netflix. So everyone's is like, hey, reboot. And we're like, no, maybe, yes. This is me just talking. This is what we do. We come out and just talk.
We're just talking.
And we're talking
Most boring Q&A I've ever seen.
Before you came out, we were talking about revisiting the show. A lot of people here have rewatched it several times. Someone said more than 10, which is unreal.
Yes.
Now,
thank you.
You guys know the show better than we do.
Honestly.
We do.
It's something I've always wanted to know, having just rewatched the show as well. When there's a scene and you don't have any lines and you're just kind of hanging out in the background at the computers, what are you guys doing? Do you have internet?
The first season, our computers did not work first season, and they actually told us to bring paperwork. So I was doing like tax forms. I was doing like every paperwork thing that I had in my head. Like I was trying to look busy. And I also was reading a book, but I'd hide it in between pages. And then the computers worked, and then we actually were like, we were like, that was like back when DMing was big, the AOL, and we were like talking to each other and shopping. And
The first couple of seasons of The Office, I actually thought I was working at a paper company. I didn't know it was a TV show.
You really did.
I really did. So, there you go.
I heard that your computer was the only one that actually had working speakers. Is that a true thing?
Yes, people would huddle around to listen to music videos or just a while ago. Yeah.
Yes.
Amazing.
Those crazy Japanese videos that you were showing of like
Japanese
controlled,
That's
like
right. We're always
getting hurt or humiliated. Yeah, that was
the Japanese have, or I don't know if they still have them. They still do. They still have them. It's a different place. It's a different culture. They have shows where they play pranks on each other. If they were done in Canada or the United States, there would be litigation because they're insane. The pranks that they play on each other are violent and traumatic.
Yeah, someone in an outhouse, but like suddenly they're on skis and they're naked and it's ridiculous.
I don't know if this one was real, but I want to believe that they were. There's a resort center, and it's by the sea. So there's like a big lake or big ocean, a body of water, and then there's like little public outhouses where you go. So and they show the camera inside the bathroom. And so they go in the bathroom, and the bathroom is like this little, it's like a skateboard. It's like a hole on the ground, and you hold onto this little handle, and they squat down on the handle. And the joke was that when they're doing their business, and it was always men, and they're not gonna, but the men are bending down, and then the outhouse, the wall would fall out, and there was a boat waiting, and there would be a line tied to the thing, and it would shoot them out on the lake, and they'd be riding naked. What the hell?
On a toilet.
What the hell?
Steve Carell actually watched these sometimes.
And they would be traumatized, like, and then the announcer would be, score points and prizes would be given. But this is traumatic. That's insane.
That's what we were doing.
The best one was the toilet paper hanging out and the fish
I
jumped
think
out.
they want to
like
find
a
some
No,
other
that didn't happen.
questions.
Now they think it's amazing. That didn't
Can we
happen.
get back to the office?
But no, there's one more. That's a ski resort, right? So it's like a chalet, like a. Remember this one?
I do, I remember
It's
all.
a ski resort. And again, they have a camera where there shouldn't be cameras in a locker room, a men's locker room, and there's an easy chair that vibrates. So these guys would come right with a little towel covering their privates, and they would sit down on the easy chair, naked except for a little towel. And then the chair would flip back, and then they'd shoot the show from the outside. The wall would come down, and the chair would tip over, and the person would go tumbling into the snow naked. And then the skiers would come by and look, and the guy would get up, and again, traumatized, and this was fun.
I'm kind of traumatized from this part of the conversation, actually.
Anyway, thank you, that's all the time we have. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr.
Japanese pranks.
Well, let's get back to the office a little bit. I know there's a lot of fans.
Just one more. And then,
A lot of fans here, a lot of, the fandom has grown over the years, and with that, there are stories from production and certain trivia facts that I've been on the internet that I don't know, maybe some of these aren't true anymore, and maybe they've kind of been rumors have become facts. So I was wondering if you could verify.
True, false.
Okay, well, actually that works out. If we could quickly clear some things up before we get to audience questions. So Kate, you originally auditioned for the role of Jan Levinson, is that true?
I did, it's true. They went a different way, clearly. Yes, I did. Yes.
Okay, Oscar, you improvised the kiss with Steve Carell. It was supposed to be a hug.
No, he improvised it. He kissed me.
Okay, so he did that. No one knew it was happening.
No one knew except for Steve.
Wow. So those reactions are genuine reactions.
Yes, the scene
Horrified.
the scene was flat, and he thought he correctly guessed that it needed something. So Steve Carell,
Kind of like tonight.
as an actor, why do you do that? My Japanese pranks they loved it creatively. Don't ruin this lovely blessed event.
I know they
Yes, okay. Steve did that.
And this is one I've since debunked, but I wonder if you could elaborate on it. There was a character, the internet calls her Luann, that was spotted for 3 seasons. She never spoke. She was in the background of certain scenes.
Technically, she was an extra. Yeah,
Okay.
and then I don't know if they actually ever referred to her in a scene, but yeah. She wanted to talk. She kept trying to add lines, and then the director would have to say, I'm sorry, but you're not supposed to
She
talk.
never got a line in?
No,
Damn
she's
it.
an extra. You're not supposed to talk if you're
I
an
know.
extra. That's showbiz, guys.
But if you watch, the first 3 seasons, there's like another person in the office.
It's so funny because I just did a show on Hulu, 9 seasons of a show called, not 9 seasons, 9 episodes of a show called All Night that was with some Disney characters. It's about like a grad night. It was out last year. And Luann was an extra in it. She was in it. She was in it. I was like, what? She's fantastic. She was asking for you. She did not have lines.
Damn,
She
again,
can't talk.
poor woman.
She's an extra. You gotta graduate. I'm
Did
just
she
saying.
say hi?
She did say hi,
You were nice to
but
her.
she just mouthed it. She didn't speak.
She knows her place, but you were nice to her.
Of course.
Now, Oscar, is it true that you didn't think the show would be a success, so that you actually kept your part-time, or you had jobs at the time? You had a server and a babysitter, is what the internet says.
I went to Vegas and I bet against the show. Why would I do that? Why would a person? Kate and I kept our jobs.
Yeah, I still have my restaurant job. I would cover my shifts during the weekend. I still work my Sunday brunch the first season.
I was babysitting and catering, and she was so like when we got going, we looked at each other. We're like, quitting? Are you quitting your? Remember?
Yeah, we were waiting for the
That was
pickup,
fun.
like the pickup of the upfronts, and then like
Quit your
after,
job, quit your
okay,
job.
and then we a few weeks before we
Quit
started
our waiting
July,
jobs
yeah.
at the same time
Woohoo!
in different restaurants.
Right.
And her stupid manager told her, "You'd be back."
And then he goes,
No.
we were gonna get you a cake, but you'll be back.
So miserable, right?
And I was back. Table 14.
That's right. We ordered champagne and we flipped the place upside down.
Now, also, this one's interesting. interesting. Apparently the set was very cold. It was kept very cold because Steve Carell has active sweat glands.
Yes.
Is that a true fact?
Well, because he's working his ass off, too.
Yeah.
Sure.
But it was chilly on set.
Yeah, we had, the women wore Uggs and we had blankets. We actually had heaters underneath. I wore silk long underwear all the time because it was freezing. You guys don't know how hard it was. I was so cold.
And there's a fact, and recently in the newspapers, I don't know if has read this, that women need the room warmer than men. This is a fact, and we were torturing.
That is so
For what?
sexist.
We were
That is so
torturing the
sexist.
women.
I mean, women
Why
are
do
all
they need-
different.
I said it to
It's not
Angela
true, especially if they're
and
after,
Jen,
if they're
and they went
over
back,
50.
do
and
it.
they're-
Just kidding, just kidding.
And lastly, in the finale, Steve Carell's return was kept a secret, and Creed, you apparently covered for it, and you read his lines to the table read to hide it from all the showrunners and whatnot.
That's
Is that
correct.
true?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember?
Yeah.
I mean, I
that
remember.
was-
You remember me?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
Wow. Do you remember that moment when people found out that he was returning? And
Well, it wasn't a big deal. They
Yeah.
just said you're going to read his lines, but
Okay.
we're not going to. They didn't tell everybody. They told me.
This is when we shut the thing up at the ranch, Disney Ranch,
Yep.
the wedding, right?
Yep.
When you came back for
No,
that?
at the table.
Okay.
read.
Yes,
At the
yeah,
table.
the table read at that
Table
college.
read, yeah.
Oh, okay,
Remember?
okay.
Also, how does it feel to be in the place that Pam and Jim got married? This is pretty cool, right?
We were actually gonna reenact it in a couple hours. I'm not sure who's gonna be who, but I might be the flowers, I don't know.
Creed and I took a romantic walk by the
Yes,
by
yes.
the
we
river,
did.
by the falls, and we're talking.
Oh,
We did.
that's so sweet.
I wanted to go over in a barrel. Oscar talked me out of it. That was a good idea.
We were just saying, who was the first guy to do that? Who was the first person?
Drunk. Who was the first drunk guy to do that?
Put me in a barrel and send me over.
We know who the last guy's gonna be, though.
Maybe Creed.
Place your bets, everybody.
All right, audience, we have some questions, I know, so get your hands up, and I will try to get to as many as I can, and we'll shout them out nice and loud. Okay, so let's go. Let's start right here in the front. So go ahead. What is your question?
So my question is, how much was really unscripted versus scripted? I mean, you guys do a lot of, I'm assuming maybe just improv it, you know, and just went with it? 'cause
It was
it's
written
familiar.
within an inch of its life, and then occasionally we get to play. I mean, Steve got to improvise more than anybody because he's really smart. He had a million ideas.
And he has the most to say.
Yes.
So Stephen Rain improvised the most.
Stephen Rain, yeah, for sure.
But
But
it's
occasionally-
written, it's a written show.
Yeah. Occasionally we have some moments, but yeah.
It looks like it's improvised, it's not, it's
Yeah.
written.
I was gonna say, I think there's only one completely improvised scene that I got to do with Steve, and that was the parking lot scene in Moroccan Christmas when he drags Meredith to rehab. And we didn't have any lines, and they had two people out of the corner of our eyes dressed just like us because they were afraid one of us was gonna go to her. Hi, baby. Yeah, so it was kind of crazy, but yeah, yeah.
Cool. All right, that's your question. Your hand went up really quick. Let's jump into the back. Go ahead. What is your question?
This is actually for Creed. You were in a video game a few years ago called
Yes.
Little Gone Sour.
Oh yes.
The entire thing seems to be an anomaly of it, as far as video games go because it just came out of nowhere. I want to know how that came about for you.
They just by agent called said they want you to do it was cartoon time, wasn't it? Oh, the video game. No, that was the video game. They just called and said, "Did I want to do this video game?" I think Common was in it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just called for some reason and had me do it, and I had fun. Yeah, did the video game. I'd never done one before. Thank you, though.
Cool. All right, let's jump over to this side. Go ahead. Get in the striped shirt. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm the person who watched 10 seasons.
You should be sorry. How dare you?
My question was, out of all of Michael's characters, and he had quite a few, were any of them ever sprung on you? Like, were any of them more memorable than another one to film with?
Well, we'd never seen him. We didn't know he'd be walking in the conference room, and when he would walk in as Prison Mike or do the dance with.
I mean, we had the table read, but you don't know how it's gonna
No.
be until you.
And or the fat suit when he walks in the room.
Oh,
with
gosh,
the suit.
yes.
We died.
Poor Tony.
We were destroyed. We were laughing so hard.
And also during like the first Dundees when he's like ping, he's like all these
Brilliant, man.
God, hilarious and awful. Ugh.
All right, back to the front. Go ahead. What is your question in the red shirt?
All right. This is actually for Kate.
Okay.
And this question goes, I've watched, we talked about this earlier, that your character out of all the, but
Was the
How-
sexiest and hottest? I'm just kidding.
how like to make the office the comedy that it is today.
Well, it's a long process, a great question. It's a long process, and you don't know when you're doing it, the people are gonna respond the way they're gonna respond, because obviously we shot it months before the episode would air, so you don't know, but you have inklings, you have feelings, and then as time goes on and people start to respond, you have more of a sense, but really, it's like, it all starts, in my opinion, with Steve Carell, because I think he never made it, the show was more important than he was, as far as he was concerned. He was serving the show. So sometimes there's a number, a lead on a show, and it's all about them. So even though Michael Scott was the main character, I still feel like he was honoring this, documentary. There was a character who was in a documentary. I feel like he kind of towed the line for all of us, and I feel like he led us, we kind of, I don't know, just followed his lead.
What's your name?
emo.
The funnest thing I remember is things are great the first time they happen. The first time we experience something. And when we got the job, we were, look, I was babysitting, I was waitering, she was waitering, we had our day jobs. But the first time we went to the Golden Globes Award,
Right.
the first
And
time,
Steve won, yeah.
and Steve won, and we were up on the roof of the hotel.
We had the worst seats in the house.
But it was so fun. I remember I had a black suit on with brown shoes, and we went in. Brian Baumgartner had a piece of shit car, and it was me, David Desmond, Ed, and me, David Desmond, and Brian. And we drank whiskey at Brian's house, and then we went there.
David Denman.
David Denman, yeah.
Okay, yes, he's drunk.
Yeah, and we.
That's Roy, the character of Roy.
It was just so fun, like.
Oh my God, I think I
Being
bought my dress.
crazy up on that roof when he won, and we're jumping around, and people up there are like, "Oh, that's The Office. Those are the guys on that show, The Office." And we were the new kids on the block.
And people were talking to us like that I remember talking to Colin Hanks, Tom Hanks' son, and I was
That's
like,
right.
oh,
That's right.
I'm not bugging him, he's bugging me. What is happening? Mind blown. Crazy, so it was gradual, but then it felt like all of a sudden in a weird way. Yeah, it's a great question, thank you.
And also with
It's a
the
good question. It's a good
great question.
Great question. It's a good question.
And also with the characters too, they evolved so much over the years. And I know, how does it all work with? Okay, I know Creed, your character became part of the main cast of season 4. Is that right? So before that, you were just like, what is it, featuring and also?
Season 2 and 3, I became a cast member around 4.
And then 4 you became, so that moment that you become part of the main cast is like, was there like did they throw a party, did they build a big cake? What happened?
Around enough, it just kind of worked in. It was just kind of like, I segued in at a kind of
There was
oblique angle.
There were
On
several,
segue?
there were several protests. Yeah. Protests why?
Stop protesting, get over it,
Character
Oscar.
evolving. They made me gay.
Which was not part of that, was that not part of the
No,
plan?
my character was straight and he was gay.
And actually, I didn't know Meredith was going to be a drunk until she was a drunk. So, surprise, surprise. And the topless thing, what a bonus. I never was warned ahead of time. I'm like, oh, this is happening now. Like, can I train or something? Can I, it was a little, I don't know.
So fun. You kept flashing. You did a lot of
I
flashing.
did a lot.
You did.
Yeah. Yikes. Let me just tell you, the cameraman never really looked me in the eye that day. Ooh.
Great, okay. Let's go to this side, there's a couple of you over here, so yeah, let's go right here in the maroon shirt, go ahead.
Oh, is hentai art? Little reference to a deleted scene, you know?
Come again, what is
Is hentai art?
Is hentai art?
Yeah,
Is it a deleted scene on the,
on The Office, yeah.
no, it's a deleted
Is
scene.
that art?
What?
Can you, what
Give
was
us
the
more,
scene?
give us
Give us
more.
more, give us more.
Sounds
Well,
like 2
in the scene,
syllables.
Michael Scott knocks over, some papers of, I forgot his name.
It's okay. What's
It's okay, or-
What happens in
And
the
it's
scene?
a bunch of hentai, and then he said, it's called hentai, it's art, you know? That scene?
Do you ring a bell?
Is me? Who's speaking?
But
Is
it's
anybody-
a
are they in the
deleted
scene?
Michael Scott and what was his name, guys?
Was it
Stanley.
Stanley,
Yeah.
okay.
Why Marvel cost so much?
So
I'm
you
so
guys,
sorry, I don't remember.
I'm sorry, no, I
Dude,
don't
I'm
know.
so sorry.
Don't know.
You guys are, I mean,
You guys
you remember
are
what
pulling up
we
some
did.
obscure stuff here. Just gotta go.
Say your hand, it's not done.
We need more information.
Thanks, brother, no, you're.
Cool.
You're,
All right.
That's what she said.
Never gets old. All right, Red Visor, go ahead.
I was just curious.
Screw that up, Matthew.
What it was like to work with little adults, and was there someone on set that was like you broke character because even their face made you laugh, like Ray or someone? Was there someone tricky on set that?
Ed Helms will crack me up, and Steve, of course.
Steve, of
But
course.
Will Ferrell had us
He
crazy.
was the best. Yeah, I loved him with
The whole
Farrell.
time when he was there.
Yeah, I.
No, not what I can think of.
Okay. Let's go to this side now. Go ahead and, yeah, go ahead. Poison Ivy? Yeah, go ahead.
Creed, so like,
Yes.
obviously you were like the most creative character in my opinion.
Oh, please.
Like I thought like the
What are your chances, guys?
Yeah.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Do you think there's like a suspicion that Creed was secretly best friends, and Strangler? Do you think it? Do you think somebody was right and that they got the wrong person?
God, is there a statute of limitations on murder? No, of course, I would never do that. No, I'm not the stranger, no.
All right, next question. Okay. Okay, the Dwight Schrute, go ahead. What is your question?
In the episode where Michael falls into the koi pond and then the office goes over to react to it on the computer, was that the first time that you saw that in your initial reactions, or did you get to see the scene before?
It was the first time I saw it, yeah.
I think so, yeah.
It was
Yeah, I
all
think
the
it's the
first
first
time.
time.
It was damn funny.
Poor Coy, though.
You know, that happened to Warren.
Yeah.
That happened to one of the writers. He went for a job interview and he walked into a court.
Fell into
That's when he got the idea to do that.
That's
Amazing. Let's go back to the middle. Go ahead. The Dunner Mifflin truck, yeah, right there.
First of all, I just want to say Creed, I had a great time with you at Carmen's Catering in Hamilton.
Oh, okay.
Great show, great time.
Oh, thank you.
And my question, on the last day of filming, were you all allowed to take a souvenir from your desks? And if you did, what did you all take on that day?
I took a couple Panasonic cameras, a house trailer, but that's just me.
I actually took the fake documentary, like the DVD set that they had. I actually got that, and then it wasn't on my desk, but I kept one of my pelvis casts. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but I got it. I do. It's in my living room. No, it's in my closet. I don't know what to do with it. You guys. Well, John Krasinski signed it. It's you know.
He signed it his real name, right? Isn't that?
He did.
He did.
He did the first take. Yeah.
Make it a
yeah,
planter.
yeah. All right. That sounds great.
Planter, that's a good. Anything you just walked away with? I mean, you're admitting to theft.
No,
right?
I took some shoes and I think wardrobe gave me a jacket or something. I don't think I have any of it now.
Oh, I did take the sumo wrestler that had a propeller.
Oh, right.
It was on my desk for the whole time. And I asked, but I did ask. I stole some.
Sure you did.
Of course I did. But I asked for that and they gave it to me. That was nice.
That's great.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, back to the question. So yeah, go ahead, right there. Yep.
Oscar, I read that, a lot of times with you guys as you're filming, you break characters, so they have the bloopers and everything, but I read that you were the one actor who actually rarely ever broke character, and when you did, the others celebrated. Is this true?
Yeah. I got that from Will Forte, who never broke on the groundlings, and it's just, some people do, some people don't.
Well, it ruins a take if you do. It can possibly ruin it. So.
But sometimes Steve or Ed Helms would cracked me up. But the ones who broke the most were like Mindy and John and
Krasinski,
Angela. Yeah.
DJ.
It was like shooting fish in a barrel for Steve. To make John laugh, and then the dominoes would just fall. Yeah.
What happens if you just take after take, you get the case of the giggles, so you just can't shake it? Do you just
Yeah,
cut,
it
you just take
happens.
10 at this point?
It
and then-
happens. You just try to shake it off.
flattens out the
Yeah.
scene when it happens too.
Yeah, it kind of makes everybody sort of like feel like, come on, you guys. You know, it's like everybody's like, suddenly they're in 8th grade and they're like, come on, you guys.
It happened sometimes, but not a lot. But it was a funny show, so we kind of.
All right, we had a question. Okay, let's go to the front. Yeah, go ahead. What's the question?
In the past, like, decade or so, there's been a lot more of these kind of ensemble-based workplace comedy sitcoms. How much of that do you think is owed to The Office, and how much of that is just like...
300%. No, I mean, I do think there's been a lot of copycat. I mean, even Modern Family, which is not a workplace, but the concept of having those, you know, interviews, even though it's not a documentary, it's kind of a weird, they sort of stole, and you know, I mean, I don't know, we didn't invent the documentary comedy.
You know, our show is a BBC, so Ricky Gervais and Steve Merchant, and Kate is absolutely right. Modern Family, it's not a documentary, they're just happening, but yet they do, like, takes the camera and all that. And Parks and Recs, that's okay because it was us, it was created by us, but Modern Family, what other shows?
Fleabag now, she breaks the fourth wall.
Creed loves Fleabag.
That's my favorite. You guys seen Fleabag? It's my favorite show. It's really funny, gang. It really is.
Cool. All right, let's go. Yeah, back to the set. So go ahead in the maroon shirt. Go ahead. Yeah.
For the teapot, do you guys know what was on the letter in the teapot?
What's that?
The what?
The letter in the teapot.
That Jimmy gave to.
It was a shopping list. Actually.
I never read it, but
Was there something on it?
Yeah, I mean, our props department, Phil Shea would write things out. I know that it actually is like a letter of a confession from Jim to Pam, but we never got to read it. They
We'll make something
kept
up.
it between
Okay,
them.
go ahead.
Hey, boom guy, wanna do me?
Good. I'm sure that's exactly what it was.
I'm sure.
Works for me. All right. Go ahead. What is your question?
I also was one of those people who watched the series 10 plus times. Whoops. So my question is for all of you, is there like a key point in the show series where you kind of like saw your character developing, like, this is who I am?
When I got hit by a car, when Meredith gets hit by a car. So, there you are. Boom!
When Greg Daniels said we're going to make your character gay, and these guys know I'm a method actor, so I had to go out and do research.
Follow-up question, what did that consist of?
What's that?
Follow-up question is, what did that consist of?
Bathhouse.
Copulations. Oral.
Easy. There's a baby in the room.
It's not murder, it's sex. There's nothing wrong. I'm heterosexual and it was traumatic. And my wife dropped me off on the corner.
Oh, Jesus.
And we walked the streets
Too
for
far.
money.
Too far.
And I would dance.
Daniel Day-Lewis couldn't have done a better Oscar.
Bet you went through a lot of ice packs.
Why? Elaborate. Why would I need ice packs? What was happening?
I mean, there's a baby in the room. Come on, easy.
Taking a lot of turns in this panel.
Yeah. So dark.
She yes and did.
She did.
But I'm stopping.
You guys are polite, but you're dirty.
And we have so many birthdays out there.
All right, we have a question in the beige jacket. Yeah, go ahead.
Hi guys, thank you so much for coming. Really appreciate it. It's an honor to meet you. I'm just wondering, there's a lot of random things that go on in the show, obviously. I'm wondering what your favorite random thing that your character did, like getting, hit by a car or trapped with a bat, murdering someone.
There was a planking episode when Meredith just happens to be on top of the ladies' room stall planking, and Dwight comes in and just takes the fire extinguisher and blows her off. It's like one of the most insane stunts I've ever done in my life.
The planking was random. That's right.
It was random. That was random.
That was pretty random. That reminded me of parkour.
Parkour was up there too. Parkour was awesome, yeah.
God, I'm trying to think. The only pre-
Did you guys, these guys are confirmed, did you clear up that thing, the question that baffled us?
The same, we don't know.
No?
The baby has a question.
No? What about this little kid up here? This little kid has a question.
Do you have a question?
Creed, I know you're a great singer. Can you sing a song for us?
How much did Creed pay you?
About like $100.
Oscar and I walked to the falls today. Put his hand on mine and said, "Hey Creed, Kate is not here. Let's slip over by that tree. I have some research to do." No, Oscar, I'm not going there. Thank you very much.
Okay, that concludes the talent portion. Okay, you in the blue shirt, let's go ahead. What do you got?
So it was such a huge cast. You meet up with each other all the time.
God, no. No.
Sometimes, we travel sometimes, so, I travel a lot, so I'm kind of all over the place, but, we try to, it's kind of like, we do what we can. And so that's the nice thing about coming to cons, because we actually get to hang out again, which is nice.
Yeah. All right, I guess we have 5 minutes left, so do you guys want to each pick a question? We can call it a wrap? Is that cool?
Sure.
Okay, so go ahead. What do you think?
When did you guys find out that Steve Carell was leaving the show?
It was the day that Creed and I were doing a press junket, and we found out, and we were in the office, just the two of us, and it was all these stations that were coming through, and they kept asking us questions about it. We didn't know anything. I also didn't want to say anything that would end up like exacerbating or whatever. So I would just pretend like I couldn't hear the question. I'll be like, "I'm sorry, I think the feed cut out." So it was, yeah.
Cool. All right, okay, go ahead, pick somebody. What do you think? Last question. Go ahead, yeah.
The red guy in the red standing up.
Okay.
Yes.
How hard was it for the cast to keep it together with the scene where Michael Scott was playing Santa and Kevin was sitting
Hard.
That was one of the toughest. Oh my God.
It's I think it's on the deleted scenes or something.
Well, it was a blooper. Yeah,
Bloopers,
yeah.
and you can see they just, Ed Helms and BJ and Mindy are in the corner, and they just can't stop laughing.
They can't. Oh my gosh. So it's such an unexpected. Steve's such a great actor.
Sit on my lap, little boy. Really? Yes, and then he sits up and he's like, "Oh!" And he's like, "What would you like for Christmas?" He's like, "I don't know." And I think he says, "Pick something," and he's like, "No one's ever asked me to sit on their lap before." It was ridiculous.
All right, Creed, do you want to pick the last question? Go ahead, Sarah. What do you think?
You. Nope, striped shirt.
You.
You.
So I think it's fair to say that everyone has like a favorite cold open. Mine, of course, being the big fire that you might see. Do you have a favorite cold open?
Oh, there's so many good. Parkour was good.
I like when Michael Scott's in the straight jacket and Jim keeps moving the key. When Michael's in the straight jacket and Jim moves the key and he's like sweating. Every take of that was, I don't know how they just picked one. It was so, Steve Carell is a genius.
Yeah,
Right?
he's really funny.
He's really funny.
Thank you guys. You're so awesome.
Thank you so much.
All right, everybody.